Do you want to move to Korea? Well, it's not that easy.
That was exhausting.
If you think getting your visa was hard, I have bad news for you, because you also need a foreigner residence card, which is an equally dreadful process. Let me show you how I applied for my residence card and share some insights on moving to Korea as a foreigner in this video. Hello everybody and welcome to Korea Diaries. Right now I am taking a walk by Deoksugung Doldamgil. That's kind of the only thing I'm doing today. I want to have lunch at a restaurant later and I think I'll also walk there. Today is just a day for walking. So much. For some reason, I forgot to film like all morning, but I just came back from my weekly grocery shopping. Today was a bit messy because I was like going all over the place to different stores to buy different things. And then I also needed to find a global ATM, and I kid you not, I had to try out like 4 or 5 different locations to find one where I could get cash from my global credit card, and then I finally found one. And the reason I needed cash is because today is the day I am finally going to the immigration office. Today is my appointment, which I made a month ago, but yes, I'm going to apply for my residence card and that's why I needed cash. Hopefully I get to share some of that process with you because I honestly don't know how that's gonna go myself. I'm just hoping that I have all the necessary documents prepared and that it's all gonna go smoothly, but if some of you are struggling with the same thing, I hope I can help you a bit and give you some insight on how it goes today. But right now I think I'm gonna cook and maybe do some meal prep for the week, just so that I always have something available that I can just warm up fast, because sometimes you just don't want to cook, right? And I love having a healthy and delicious meal prepared by past me. On my way back from all this messy grocery shopping, I was kind of hungry, so I bought gwabegi from like a street food stall, and I've never actually had one, so I'm glad I tried and it's really good. It's already the middle of September and why is it still so hot? I am grateful that it's not as humid anymore as when I first arrived, but it's still like almost 30 degrees and I'm sweating so much. I just want it to be fall. I love fall. I think fall is my favorite season, but I've heard that it's like super short in Korea because it stays hot for a really long time and then it becomes winter really fast. You gotta accept what you can't change. I'm just gonna cool off a bit now and then do some cooking. Got the leftovers here and that's probably gonna last me at least one more meal. Okay, so it's almost 2 p.m. now. I have the appointment at 5 and it takes me about an hour to get there, but on the way there I have one cafe I want to stop at. I'm not gonna eat there. It's a vegan cookie place, so I'm just gonna get like a takeout that I'm gonna eat later, but I also have some things I want to buy from Daiso and I just want to plan in as much puffer time as I can just to be on the safe side, because with these official things, it's always better to be like an hour early than too late. I don't know, maybe that's just the German in me. And also when I have things like this, it's hard for me to like be productive at home in the hours before. Like I couldn't sit down and do something now. So even just for my nerves, it's better if I just go now and then wait there for a while. Point is, I'm going out now, way too early, but let's go. 지금 시간이 없어서 거기 먹고 갈 여유가 없었는데 나중에 진짜 꼭 다시 가보고 싶어요. 맛있게 생긴 것도 너무 많았고 분위기 자체가 너무 귀여웠어요. 근데 너무 급해가지고 찍는 걸 다 깜빡했네. 시간까지 진짜 1시간 반이나 남았으니까, 그리고 진짜 배고파서 일단 첫 번째 쿠키를 먹고 있어요. 2개를 샀거든요. 지금 시간이 진짜 많이 남았는데 일단 가볼게요. Exhausting, at least emotionally. I'm gonna tell you all the details and everything after I've eaten, but right now I'm making dinner because I'm very hungry and I also just need the comfort. I didn't feel like eating the rest of the pasta right now, so I'm just making a different meal. I didn't make that much, so I don't think there's gonna be any leftovers. And I also have one more cookie left from that place I went today. So I'm gonna have that as a snack tonight to comfort myself a bit. I just fried some vegetables in soy sauce and I'm gonna eat that with rice. So let's talk about how to get your residence card as a foreigner in Korea. Now, your residence card is kind of like your ID card if you're living in Korea as a foreigner for more than 90 days. And you also need it in order to work here. I'm not an expert on this and I'm not 100% sure if that information is correct. Feel free to research for yourself if you want to know about the residence card in more detail, but all I know is that I need it because I'm staying here for more than 90 days and I also want to work. I have a working holiday visa, so an H1 type visa. I can work 25 hours per week, and I'm gonna get into my job and how I found it and everything later. But for now, let me explain the process of getting my residence card, which was not easy. First, I had to find the immigration office which I had to go to, and I'm not even sure if I picked the right one. You can, and you actually have to make an online reservation on the website Hi Korea. And I tried doing it before from Germany, but for some reason it didn't work, and I think it was because I didn't have a Korean phone number yet. So that's the first thing I did once I got my SIM card and my Korean number. But the first appointment I could get was a month later, and it might be because right now the season is like September and the start of a new school year, and many exchange students are coming to Korea now. So that might be why the immigration offices are really packed at the moment. It might not take as long if you're coming in a different season, but that's what it was like for me. So after arriving, I had to wait a month until my appointment at the immigration office. And like I showed you, I was almost 2 hours early, which I do not recommend, especially when the immigration office is packed like this. It will not serve you to be that early. Maybe if you want to be like really safe, come like 30 minutes early. But the only thing I had to do before it was actually my turn was to fill out an application form, which they give you there. But after doing that, I just waited until it was my turn. And you have to have some documents prepared. Now, I don't know if this is the same for everyone, but you definitely need your passport. And for me, I just prepared like all the different documents I thought they might need, and also what I knew from my experience from applying for the visa. So I just gave them everything I had, and they didn't actually need everything, but the things that they took were my visa grant notice, some kind of certification from your accommodation, so where you're living. The place I'm staying, I'm renting it over Airbnb, so I just printed out like the certification that I'm staying here. And then I also had to take an examination for tuberculosis, which I did at the health center a few weeks back, and I needed to hand in that diagnosis. I think that's all the documents I needed. I had to pay 30,000 won in cash. After that, they took my fingerprints. Oh, and you also need a photo of yourself, like a biometric photo that you also have in your passport and stuff, because it's gonna be like your ID card, like I said. And then it takes another month for the actual residence card to be issued. So 1 month from now, I'm gonna go to the office again and receive my card. Now, this might also take less time if you're applying in a different season, but that's just my bad luck. So now for the job I'm working at, like I said, it's just a part-time job because I have a working holiday visa. And when I was looking for what kind of jobs I wanted to do, I kind of got the idea of wanting to work in a cafe slash bakery. And I'm from Germany, so I got the idea to just look if there are any German bakeries here in Seoul, which there actually are. After finding some potential employers where I would want to work, I just messaged them either via email, or some actually have like an official Instagram account, so I just DM'd them and said who I am and how long I'm going to be staying here, how much I can work, and then scheduled a job interview with them. And yeah, that's basically it. I was surprised myself at how simple it was. I do have the advantage that I'm fluent in Korean, so this might be harder if you only speak English, but it also really depends on the kind of job you want to work and how much you're gonna work. So I can't really give like general advice on how to find a job in Korea because it's obviously very dependent on your individual situation. But because I'm gonna work in a cafe and work with food and stuff, I think it's the same for like cafes, bars, and restaurants. And maybe even if you're gonna work in a supermarket or convenience store, I'm not sure. But for the job I'm gonna work, I need a health certificate, and that is going to be more complicated than I thought, because when I went to the health center a few weeks back to do the first tuberculosis test, they told me that after my first appointment at the immigration office, I would get like a temporary residence card, which I could then already do the other examination for the health certificate with. But when I asked yesterday, they said that a temporary residence card doesn't exist. So I don't know what they meant, but I'm kind of afraid that I can only do the examination for the health certificate once I have my residence card, which will only be in a month. And then it's all just gonna get dragged out even longer, and I can only start working a lot later than I thought. But since I'm very uncertain of how that's actually gonna go, I just decided to go to the health center today and just ask if maybe I can already do the examination before. And worst case scenario is just I have to wait until I get my residence card in a month, and then I can do the examination. And then I think it takes like about a week for the health certificate to develop, and then I can start working after that. It's all quite complicated. And I also still need to make a bank account at a Korean bank for my job so that they can transfer me the money. But I can only do that with my residence card as well. So there's a lot of things I just have to wait for, but there's nothing I can do, and that's so frustrating to me. You gotta accept what you can't change. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, or if there's anything I said wrong, please also correct me. Like I said, I'm very uncertain about these things myself, so I'm not sure if I explained everything correctly, but this is my understanding of it so far. And now I'm just gonna head to the health center to ask for the next steps, and I'll update you on that later.
외국인 등록 번호가 있으면 된대요. 그거 2주나 3주 뒤에 나오거든요. 그래서 그때 아마 다시 여기 와서 검사 받을 수 있을 것 같아요.